As we have already discussed, a wholesome plot about the Kite Runner by Khalid Husseini. If at all you haven't watched the part 1, I will be tagging it somewhere here or the other thing else. And make sure you are watching this video till the end so as to understand the plot twist and the major essence of the book. Hello everyone, thanks so much for watching ATP, that is Among the Pages, where I talk about the books and the content written among their pages. Well, if you're for the first time here, then this is Achut Murari. I am a medical from Spanish Medical College, plus a poet, plus a booktuber, and I talk about the books only because of my passion. In the part 1, we have paused the story where the kite tournament has actually begun and Amir was successful and he is the winner, and Hassan runs to find the kite which was cut down by Amir's kite. And as Hassan runs there, and there's been whole day done, but Amir couldn't find Hassan anywhere. So he tries to search it in all the streets and he asks other people where Hassan is, but he couldn't trace out his being. And as he tries to search, he comes across a park where he watches that Hassan is actually encountered Asif, Kamal and Ali, the three antagonistic and the bad guys which we have discussed in the previous plot. And this is the scene where Hassan is actually molested. And this scene is clearly described in the book, and this certainly heart wrenches us. Most pitiable situation of this is Amir doesn't do anything to save Hassan. Hassan has saved Amir many a times in his life, but Amir completely fails to actually go against Asif, try to fight for Hassan and show his courage, but Amir fails to do so, and this guilt builds up in his heart slowly. And as the whole molestation thing is done, Hassan is let out, and Hassan, with all the weary face, comes to his home. He doesn't speak a word. He tries to be staying isolated. He tries to be in solitude, and he doesn't speak anything with Amir or Baba, neither Ali. And 10 days pass on. Each day Amir is completely in the guilt of not being able to help Hassan, and he cries just sitting in the corner of his bed thinking that he has terribly failed in actually saving Hassan, who is his most dearest friend. And that is what prompts Amir to become actually against and reckless in his mind, sense that he is not able to accept his own fate. He is hating himself more and more, and this prompts him to think that let Hassan be completely removed from his life so that he can actually stay peacefully, because as the many times he watches Hassan, he remembers all that molestation scene and he feels the guilt of not being able to help Hassan. So he tries to get Hassan out of his life, and for this there's an elaborate birthday party of Amir being celebrated, and that day he's actually gifted a golden watch, at least a watch which is plated with gold. So this is a very costly watch, and Amir cleverly tries to put that watch under the Hassan's bed, and he claims to Baba that Hassan has actually stolen the watch. And knowing this fact, Baba's heart breaks, and so has Ali's heart. And when Baba tries to encounter Ali and Hassan about the questions and why have they tried to stolen this thing, Hassan's eyes moist, and he actually feels that these two guys, that is Baba and Amir, never trusted them, and this is what has prompted them to actually question their liability and honesty. And this completely prompts them, it makes them completely mad, and Hassan and Ali try to persuade Baba that they are gonna leave. But Baba pleads them, please do not leave, please, 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 please. You cannot leave that. But we do not understand why is Baba pleading so much. Why is he so much inclined towards Hassan and Ali? But we do not understand that in the beginning of the book, but we'll get to understand this thing when we are actually reaching the ending of the book. Hassan and Ali actually move out, and this is where the major plot ends, and that is where Amir, being a small kid, faces a lot of issues. And as soon as they leave, there's this complete attacking of Taliban attack, and the whole scenario of the book completely changes. Till here, the book had all the cherishable moments. It had melancholy and it had poignancy, but it still was okay. But from here, the plot completely shifts into complete savagery and a complete distress, a lot of distress. And there is this Taliban attack, because of which all the elite people of Afghanistan are being executed, and there is completely anarchy. The government has fallen, and there is just chaos throughout Afghanistan, and the streets are with blood. There is just dead bodies everywhere, and all this has prompted Baba to actually escape to any safer place. So all the Afghanistani people of that small community try to escape to somewhere such as Iran or either America. So in that way, they try to actually get into an oil tank and they escape. Even that scene of staying in oil tank in that stink of oil is clearly described in this book, and it actually reminds me of A Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. In that book, she has written all the chronicles of her thoughts and being during the Holocaust situation by Adolf Hitler, and how that has actually caused a huge damage to the ethnicity and the beliefs of Jewish people, and how their lives are actually at stake. So I completely could relate to that book, and that was The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, and that is what similarly is written in this book, where they try to escape to America, and so they ultimately try to get escape to America, and they are safe. That is what the thing, they are safe. And Baba tries to work in a gas station because Amir still is not completely educated. He has not graduated yet, so he cannot actually find a job. So Baba tries to work in a gas station, and Amir goes to college. And here most of the life of Amir is just cut down. Only it is shown that he just grows up. That's it. He just grows up in America. And there is this situation where all the Afghanistani people on every Sundays or every Fridays, they try to meet in a very in an area. There is this streets which are actually filled with a lot of Afghani people, and that is where Baba actually feels solace, because he can actually relate to people who are from Afghanistan, and he is not at all interested in staying in America, because Baba actually is not able to digest the air of America. He's not able to understand why is America like this. It's not Afghanistan. It's not Afghanistan. It's not their motherland. It's there something. This is a foreign land. So Baba pretty much tries to persuade himself to live in America, but he still cannot. And in this way, Amir successfully grows up, and actually, rather now he's graduated, he's actually more inclined towards story writing, which is actually told us in the beginning of the book that Amir was actually more interested in writing stories. So in that way, Amir tries to build himself as a writer, and tries to project himself to the world that he is actually a writer. And in that way, he tries to write his first book, and encounters Soraya, who is the daughter of General Tahiri, and he instantly falls in love with her, and they tie a knot. And Soraya has been the greatest asset for Amir's life. After Baba, Soraya takes up the charge of taking care of Amir and understanding his emotions and all that. And in that way, slowly, unfortunately, Baba is actually diagnosed with a tumor in his brain, and with that, he's actually deteriorating his life. And it is said that the doctors confirm that he cannot live more than 6 months or so, and that prompts Amir. All his world is shattered, and that literally brings tears in your eyes, saying that Baba can live no more. And soon Baba passes away, and that scene is also clearly described. And there are some lines which will certainly hit your heart and make you prompt you to actually go and hug your own father. And with that, Amir just tries to live his life. He's actually a successful novelist. He gets his book published, and he's now a successful person, and he's renowned person in America. And this is a scene where the first scene of the book was actually here. He receives a letter from Rahim Khan stating to return to Pakistan for some reason, and he actually goes to Rahim Khan and he asks what has happened, and Rahim Khan then reveals the actual plot, what has happened when Amir and Baba has actually fled from Afghanistan, and what has happened to Hassan and Ali. He says that Ali soon died of some illness, but Hassan had actually married a woman, and Rahim Khan has actually visited Hassan and that woman, and they also had a child called Sorab. But unfortunately, due to this Taliban attacks, Hassan was killed, and his wife was also killed in Taliban attacks, and that child is taken to some orphanage, and he's living there. So Rahim Khan is also in his deathbed, and he just cannot walk anywhere. So he inspires Amir to actually say that you can please go and get Sorab, that is Hassan's son, and save him, because he didn't want Sorab to actually live in Afghanistan the way, because of its dilapidated condition. So this now brings Amir all his memories back, and now he finds that finding Sorab can be the only way of actually getting himself out of the guilt, and it is the redemption. And that is the thing which is actually written here. The line, it says actually the one thing that his new world cannot grant him, and that was redemption. So this book is actually all about redemption and the self-guilt which we try to build on ourselves. So in that manner, Amir goes to Afghanistan. He pretty much escapes the Taliban and all that, and he tries to go there. He finds an orphanage where Sorab is actually put, but there he learns that that orphanage doesn't have Sorab anymore. They have actually sold Sorab, and that orphanage pretty much sells children also for actually living, and that prompts Amir to be very sad. And but somehow he tries to figure out that, and luckily he finds that Sorab is somewhere near the Taliban head. So Amir goes to that Taliban head, and he tries to persuade him to give Sorab so that he can take him to America. But the most painful thing is that Taliban head is none other than Asif himself. The same Asif who has actually molested Hassan has grown up and become the worst Taliban head, and he is now causing a whole lot of chaos in Afghanistan. And there is this physical fight between Amir and Mr. Asif, and successfully Amir wins because of Sorab's help. Sorab also just a small kid, but he's so courageous, and he tries to help Amir and somehow get him back. So that now Amir takes Sorab and he tries to return to America, but they move to a hotel and in Peshawar. Amir is being attacked by the Taliban, so he's has this wounds throughout his body, so it takes him at least 2 weeks to get recovered. So in that meantime, they actually go to Peshawar, that is in Pakistan, and they try to stay there away from the Taliban or so. But there he actually learns that because of this international laws of migration, Amir cannot actually take Saurabh with him because it needs special grants and special permissions, and Amir doesn't get that. So he says that it's better to put Saurabh in an orphanage as of now here, so that he can go back to America, get the legal procedures done, and he can come back to Pakistan and he'll again take Saurabh back. So he tries to persuade Saurabh to actually stay for 1 month in an orphanage, and this pretty much distorts his mind. The little kid feels that he's being abandoned once more, he'll be again molested and all that, so he pretty much feels, and he tries to commit suicide by cutting his wrist off. And Amir again tries to save that kid. He takes him to an hospital, and there he is treated, and there he calls Soraya and he tells the whole story what has happened. And then Soraya cleverly makes the legal procedures get done by using the influence of her father, that is General Tahiri. So in that manner, Amir is successfully able to get Saurabh back to his home, and Saurabh meets a family. And at the ending of the book, there's a scenario where Saurabh is not so social being. He tries to stay conserved because of his bad childhood, but so Amir tries to just get this kid with his people. He just wanted this social behavior in Saurabh. So they pretty much move to this Afghanistani place where they live, and in America. And even there, that year, there is this kite competition yet again. A kite tournament is being conducted yet again there, and Amir takes Saurabh and Soraya with him, and there he finds that all his memories are flushed back, and there he finds a kite yet again, and Amir persuades Saurabh to actually fly that, but Saurabh doesn't fly that. So Amir himself flies that kite, and he again wins a tournament there. And the cut kite, which was again falling, Amir, rather than letting Saurabh run for that, Amir himself runs after the falling kite. And when he tries to run, he remembers all the beautiful days he had in Afghanistan. The memories, the same way Hassan ran behind the kite, and how that scene has changed their whole lives, completely rewinds in his mind. And then he finds that Saurabh is actually happy holding the kite which is flying, and he's proud that he's living, and he's proud of his father and all that. So this pretty much makes us nostalgic of our childhood days. It also makes us cry immediately. I need to personally put some tissues beside me, because I was pretty much moved by reading the story, and the way of narration was absolutely awesome. So this was all a summary. I have tried to briefly outline the whole plot of the book, but I personally encourage all of you to read this book, because this has more than any summary. It has something really great which would completely hook you up and grasp your attention. So make sure you're reading this thing, and I'll be back with yet another book review and a book summary. If at all you're liking the way I have been reviewing or sharing the summaries or my opinions about the books, then make sure you're commenting and sharing, subscribe this channel, so that it will encourage me. Till then, bye bye.